Good evening, I'm Jeff Lyons. It is Tuesday night, February 3rd, time for the 14 First Alert Weather Show at 9 o'clock. Glad you're here this evening, and we'll get right into the weather here. Not a whole lot coming our way. Our alert day kind of fizzled. We didn't get any slick driving out there, which was the fear, so that's a good thing. We'd rather an alert day fail that way than the other, where you didn't have some kind of a heads up. What we are tracking is a little fog here overnight since that rain got on the snowpack out there. We will see temperatures then in the mid-40s with some sun, limited sun on Friday, but a much bigger warm-up is on the way next week as temperatures climb into the 50s for the first time, and by then it will be about 3 weeks. The radar pick now clear for the tri-state counties here. All that rain and snow has moved to the east, and even the winter weather advisory was whittled back here just to include areas around, I believe that's Fayette County, isn't it? Wherever Lexington is in Kentucky. The hour by hour then brings some more clouds down along with that northerly wind, and we will continue then with northerly winds, which will keep the temperature below freezing again tomorrow and Thursday before we start to warm things up on Friday. So, you know, a couple more days here in the ice bucket, and then we finally break out. That fog forecast with the introduction there of drier, colder air, that should get rid of the fog overnight, but we could still see some patches of it. The most encouraging thing here is that we will make our warm up in 2 skips here. The first taking us to 45 on Friday. A little system comes through, pulls us back into the mid-30s, still above freezing though Saturday, and then on up into the 50s there by Tuesday and Wednesday next week. There is a chance for some rain, which we will get into here in just a moment. Temperatures around the area now still above freezing despite the northerly wind. We have 32 at Mount Vernon, 32 Mount Carmel. Fairfield, the only spot there that has dropped below the freezing mark. And with that northerly breeze, the feels-like temperatures are in the mid-20s. We're at 34, as I said, here at the station, and the humidity's at 75%, so a little fog out there too. Our calendar then, we're still looking at purple and blue days there. We'd like to add a couple green ones, which would be temps in the 50s. We had 0.02 of an inch of rainfall today. That really won't have much bearing on our monthly total yet. We're still about 0.2 behind the normal here for the third day in February. For the year, our rainfall is lacking by almost an inch, and our average temperature, just with those 3 days figured in, is still about 11 degrees colder than normal. Our snowpack did melt below 6 inches, so we got 9 consecutive days there with 6 inches of snow on the ground. That hasn't happened since, well, back in the 70s there, 77 and 78. Bell-bottom time, right? I think we were still wearing bell-bottoms then. I can't remember if straight-leg jeans had come in or bell-bottoms. I know my hair was over my ears. Last time we had, I had hair too, when we had that much snow on the ground for that long. And really the only comparable year would be 2004, and even then, with nearly 2 feet of snow, it was below 6 inches after just 6 days. We had a big warm-up on the other side of that big winter storm back in '04. Okay, satellite radar pick. We have clouds kind of spinning around that low pressure that's now moving into eastern Kentucky. Behind it, the air's pretty dry, so we really don't have the basis there for any kind of rain or snow coming our way. High pressure will be the driver here, but it will be on the wrong side. We will be east of the high, so that'll be pulling the colder air down. Remember, highs turn clockwise, counter for the low, clockwise for the high, and that will keep us cold then all the way through Thursday and Friday as well. We start to warm up as the high moves down to the south and turns our winds up from the south, and you see that snow kind of bypassing us there over the weekend. On the GFS model, we go through the weekend with clear skies to partly cloudy, and then moving into next week, this is Sunday morning, some snow to our north. We are firmly in the southerly wind, so it'll be too warm here for snow. Our next chance of rain starts in on Tuesday and may linger Tuesday night into Wednesday. Note too that that rain gets all the way up to Lake Michigan, so the warm air really making its presence felt. And just for a sanity check here, we'll look at the European, also keeping us partly cloudy through the weekend, but dry on Monday and Tuesday, same as the GFS. It holds off on the rain until a little later Tuesday night, and then continues that chance of rain through Wednesday and early Thursday morning, and possibly Friday too. 22 degrees tonight and mostly cloudy with a little fog out there. Tomorrow up to 29 with, light winds out there, some periods of sun. We look at the remainder of the week with that 45 Friday, our warmest day during the work week, and then that 51 sitting out there on Tuesday. Now, experience tells me that 51 may not hold. It may pull back into the 40s, but on the other hand, we could overperform. So I like having the carrot on the stick, something to look forward to, and I think 50 would fit the bill about right now. The temperature outlook through the 17th, warmer than normal, so that would support 50s, and wetter than normal too. Some of that rain on the way Tuesday, Wednesday may be a little heavier than what is typical around here. All right, Abigail Enright sends us a picture of Percy, the tiger cat there with an M on his forehead. And notice too, this is intriguing to me, a cat that will wear a leash. Never met one, certainly not in my house. They will not wear anything, even a collar is a no-go with my current crop of cats. So they stay inside anyway, and they're chipped, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway, there's your pet pick for the night. Thanks, Abigail, for that. All right, let's get your questions in here and comments and whatnot. Whatnot's always my favorite. Let's see here. Yeah, we got a few in there. There's Cheyenne Hammonds, and Cheyenne sent me a whole batch of dog pictures too. We'll get yours in there at some point. Lenny Howard's on. Haven't heard from Lenny in a while. Hey, Lenny. Good to see you on here. Suzanne Daly. Jeff Miller out in Savaw. Let's see. Plain old rain or thunderstorms next week. Zach Seats. I looked at both the GFS and European, just thunder basically, and there really wasn't much of a signal for that at this point. With temperatures in the 50s at the surface, about the best you could hope for would be some elevated thunderstorms aloft, and I don't think our synoptic or our setup is going to be right for that. Real early to tell. You're really worried about severe, aren't you? We're still only 2/3 of the way through winter. I mean, I know we get cold weather severe, but I'm not seeing it, at least not in the models that I'm looking at today. Laura Gray's on from Dawson Springs. I saw on the news they're going to fix up the park there, the pool and everything that was destroyed in the tornado. So way to go, Dawson Springs. That has been a long slog to recover from such a horrible storm. Laura Gray, it is in Fayette County. That's what I thought. Okay, thank you. Laura also says 51 on Tuesday. I'll take it. Okay, good. You're an easy sell, right? Who wouldn't take 51? Let's see. Darlene Sell, hello from Madisonville. Hey, Darlene. Angie says, Angie Wampler says, looking forward to warmer temps here in Vincennes, getting tired of seeing snow in the backyard. Yeah, there's a growing legion of snow haters out there. Maybe the same people that wanted it. It's like enough already, right? What about that snow globe today? Wasn't that beautiful? Tasha Lindauer. We didn't really have the snow globe effect here, but I know a little farther east, the snow was mixing in and kind of drifting down. So yeah, it is pretty. I mean, I'm not down on snow necessarily. It has its place generally in the winter, and there is something about it. I find though, as I've gotten older, the thrill isn't quite what it used to be. And after you fall a few times, you're not as enthused to get out there and shovel the snow, not as inclined to, build a snowman like I was maybe 10 years ago. Not that I'm an old geezer here, but, well, maybe I am. But you know what I mean? It just, you notice the disruption more. Because it's not like you get to stay home from school. You still have to work and stuff. I'm bringing the room down here. I'm not going to gripe. It was beautiful. I don't like when the snow gets dirty, when it's been driven over and kind of gray. But it was gorgeous when it first came last week. All right, how about a little science corner here? There we go. I'm going to say this again. This will be the last time I'm going to preach on ice. We still have it out there, and we're getting into those conditions now that really worry me because, while the ice may be thick enough on some ponds out there to walk on, it will not be for much longer. With these daily highs above freezing, the ice will be compromised on the surface. You'll see water on it, and it will weaken the ice. And you need 4 inches anyway just to get out on it. Best advice is to stay off the ice. I have had a number of you ask me about thunder that you've been hearing, and rumbles and earthquakes and so on, and they are more than likely frostquakes, and we've covered that here a couple times, but I will mention it again because as we warm up and the water mains start breaking and the potholes appear, we will likely have some frostquakes out there too, which it's basically just the result of groundwater freezing up and expanding and putting pressure on the soil above and the bedrock below. And at some point, excuse me, something has to give, and that's when you get that rumble or bang of a frostquake. They tend to be pretty localized. However, a couple people said, well, we could hear it all over town. This wasn't Evansville. It was, I think Chandler or Boonville, somewhere smaller. And you're probably hearing frostquakes would be my guess with these rumbles and bangs out there. The good news is once we get into a period of prolonged 50s and higher, that won't be an issue. And then, of course, we have potholes already appearing out there after this brutal couple of weeks. And the plows and the snow and everything else, you're going to start seeing a lot more potholes out there. So be careful, especially the ones that have water in them, because you don't know how deep they are. Increased traffic and weight on a weakened road base will create those potholes, and the rest of the story. Then your car goes out of alignment, you get a flat tire, and you're mad. But I didn't want to bring anybody down. I'm just saying watch out because the potholes are definitely in bloom. Oh, we got more questions here. Justin Turnage thinks all of us would rather mow grass than shovel snow. Yeah, I've got this really thrilling, not proposition, situation going on where the rope on my lawnmower, you know how you start it, I've got to push more, and it's frayed, and it's going to break, and I need to take it and just have it fixed, right? But there's this thrill. It's like, well, I wonder if this will be the time. So I'll be sure to keep you up to date on the status of my pull cord on my lawnmower. Hopefully it'll last another season here. What else do we have? I think we had a couple more questions that came in. Cheyenne Hammond sent in a few pictures of Trixie. All right, and we'll get those on here in short order. I think I got everybody answered here that chimed in. I really appreciate your feedback in that. It keeps me from just tap-dancing out here. Let's see, what else was that? We got an answer to the mystery. Now I realize a lot of you don't live in Evansville, but this may apply wherever you happen to live. We had this awful smell here in Evansville, kind of that rotten eggs, natural gas smell. And it turned out there was a company out on Boonville Highway, which is the east side, east of Green River Road, that was washing out these barrels that had contained the stuff that they put in natural gas to make it stink. And they do that for safety. If you smell that, then you've got a gas leak. Anyway, because of the inversion right now, we've got very cold ground temperature because of the snow cover, warmer air aloft, and so the air can't rise above it. And consequently, all that stench is kind of trapped down close to the ground and concentrated. And the smell then kind of propagates out more this way than up and dispersed in the atmosphere. And so that stench was all over town. It will likely ease tonight and tomorrow, especially if we get that northerly wind in here, and we'll send it all to Kentucky, right? Then it'll be your problem. And no, we wouldn't do that. But in your own towns, stuff that stinks, whether it's whatever, smells are a little stronger when we have the strong inversion from the snowpack and the slightly warmer air just off the surface. So that could lead to it. I also did a little research on the snow itself, I wondered if snow can smell, like if it picks up odors as it comes down. And you know what? It can. Now, I went out and smelled the snow at my house. It didn't smell like anything. But depending on the time of year, like if you've got moss or mold and stuff like that, the snow can take on a smell of its own and then perpetuate that. So that's something to look forward to next snow, right? We'll all be out sniffing it and seeing if it stinks. Hopefully it will not. Anyway, before I stink up the place here, I'm going to let you go, and I will see you on 14 News at 10. Byron's in tomorrow morning, and then it'll be Michael Fecka for our midday show, for our afternoon stream, Arden Gregory on the midday show. Thanks so much for watching. Please stay safe and have a great